And welcome to another episode of Inappropriate Movie Database, the comedy game show about content warnings. I'm your host, Nick Martucci. Thank you so much for clicking on this video or stream. If you're watching it now, if you're not watching, you're watching it now if I'm saying, oh my God, off to a bad start. I don't know how to start these shows anymore. Hey, this is so exciting for me. I'm so happy about this group of contestants. We got a couple of newbies. We got a returning champion. We might have another. We will see. But for now, let me introduce the guests that are here. Joining me tonight on the show are Amma Marfo, Jere Pilapil, and oh my God, I'm so sorry. Campbell, right? Cameron, Julie Cameron. Oh my God. Is it too late to restart the stream?
It's your show, you ask me.
Yeah.
I did. Oh, wait. And welcome to the show.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm driving.
Oh no.
Turn my camera on. I apologize.
That's totally okay. I don't know if I can condone you playing this game while driving. Tyiesha Thompson is here.
Are you at a red light?
I'm sorry?
Are you at a red light?
I am.
Oh God.
I'm not that fancy. I'm at a red light. I'm actually in the middle of washing clothes, and I took my bank of quarters with me and now my debit card, and I had just enough change to start the washing machine, and I have to come all the way back home to get money for the dryer. Nobody had Cash App or Venmo. I'm like, who has Cash App? Who has Venmo? They're like, what? What's that? What is that? I'm like, are you serious?
What?
Serious? You can't be serious.
Oh, no.
In fairness, anytime someone asks me if I have Cash App, I assume they're a foreign sex bot.
It's a fair assumption.
Right. Like, even if it's in person, I'm like, what nudes are you trying to get?
Yeah, I think they think it's a scam, so.
Well,
I'm on my way back home.
Tyiesha, I really appreciate you calling in, but I don't know if now is a good time for this.
Oh, let her voice in. Let her voice in. This is real stuff. Doing laundry, talking about movies.
If anything happens, I will feel bad. This is live streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, this will be considered evidence.
I'll just show. I'm a really good driver. So I doubt I'll crash. The last thing I want to do is hit someone. I made it home, so I'm gonna run in and get my money. I could do it another time too, Nick. I don't want you to feel any kind of way.
Can I invite you back soon?
Yes, that's fine.
The next time you're available, please let me know. I want to have you on the show. I just think that this is going to be a lot for you to juggle when you got all this other stuff going on right now. But it was so good to see you.
Yeah, but I had totally had it set up to, put the clothes in, be in the laundromat, and be able to play the game.
Uh-huh.
But,
happens.
Things happen. So.
I'm gonna have you back on as soon as you're available.
Okay.
It was great seeing you.
Likewise. Thank you all. Have a good time playing the game.
Have a good
luck
night.
with the laundry.
Right.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay. Well, that is a first for the show.
Nick, if you ever have me back on this, I'm going to be folding laundry while we're playing the game. I just want you to know that. I won't be driving.
Fine.
I think that should be an agreement.
on the
Next time any of
side.
us are on, we should be folding laundry in homage
Yeah.
to this
Pack
episode.
right now.
Or doing a part of the laundry process. Any
Yes.
I'm
part.
totally okay
I'll
with
be in the
any
laundry room, like putting in fabric softener or something.
totally okay with any chores going on that don't involve driving.
Stationary chores, not
That's
mobile
fair.
chores.
Well,
All right, now
let's
we know
jump
the
back into the
rules.
show. We have been streaming this whole time. I introduced them quickly. Let's bring them in individually. Jere Pilapil is here. Hey, Jere, back on the show.
Hello. Hi. I'm glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. I believe you won your last episode.
I did. The only other time I've been on the show, so I've got a lot to live up to. It's a lot of pressure.
Well, I'm excited to see how tonight works for you. Because like I said, we have two newbies on the show. I don't know how they're going to do. I don't know how they feel about movies. Let's talk to them. Amma Marfo's here. Hey, Amma.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing it. I just caught what your sweatshirt is.
Yep, it's a dead comedy streaming service.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
it felt appropriate, but yeah, it no longer exists. But we still have the swag to let it live on.
It was the better Quibi.
It was. Rest in power, CISO, less so Quibi.
Yeah.
Well, how are you feeling about the show? Do you watch a lot of movies?
I do. I watched a ton of movies in college, enough that they gave me a minor for it. Yeah, I do. I like movies a lot. So I'm hoping that some of that stuff that at least got me a degree will stick well enough to do okay in this, because then it counts as using that part of my degree, which a guidance counselor told me I never would. So
this show is nothing if not celebrating those degrees.
thank you. That I'm even more excited to be here to prove a guidance counselor wrong. Isn't that what we're all trying to do?
You got to send this link to your guidance counselor if you win.
I'm going to. I'm going to send her a Facebook. I'll make somebody find her on Facebook and be like, I got some stuff to send her. Where's Christine Stewart? I'll name names. Where's Christine Stewart? I have something to send her.
I will find Christine Stewart for you.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate the collaborative effort of this already. Even if I
help out
lose,
another film minor.
there it is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. We got a whole plan going. Also, first time on the show, she's going to find Amma's a guidance counselor. But before she does that, she's going to play on the show. Julie Cameron is here. I got it this time.
Thanks, buddy.
Also, I said I got it before verifying, so that could have completely blown up in my face.
Ooh, ballsy. But you did, in fact, get it. No one needs to know what happened in the first 5 minutes.
No, nobody's watching. Nobody's ever going to see this.
I once got introduced at a comedy show by, I forgot her name, after I told him 3 times. So I think you're still above that guy.
If I'm being honest, my problem is I rely too much on Zoom squares now. So when I notice that somebody doesn't have their full name, or they have just their username on Twitter or something, it throws me for a second, and I lose
take the
everything.
L on that. Like, that's my fault. I didn't include all the information.
I'm so happy to have you on the show, though. Same question to you. Do you watch a lot of movies?
I do, and I'm also a film minor. I was going to be a double major in film, but then I realized production is expensive and I'm poor. But also, I have pretty bad ADHD, so I will watch a movie and then promptly forget what I just watched immediately afterwards. So on the one hand, I should know things. On the other hand, I don't. So we'll see how this works.
I totally get that. If it wasn't for Letterboxd, I wouldn't know most of the movies I've seen.
It's
I had
like
a period.
ones I watched as a kid that I watched 75 times, know those in and out. Anything I've watched from like age 20 on, I have no idea.
I had a period a couple of years ago where I wanted to watch a movie per day.
Ooh.
And I'd fall behind, so I'd get like 3 or 4 in a day. And at the end of the day, I'd be like, okay, so today I watched no idea.
Yeah.
I call that March and April of 2020.
Sure.
That's what I did.
Sure.
I was like, it's a great time to catch up on movies. What did I watch? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, let's see how that all works out tonight. Thank you all again for being here. If this is your first time watching the show, here's what's going to happen tonight. I have gone to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, and I've pulled parental warnings for too many movies. Way too many. This episode, this episode will feature the 500th movie I've used on the show. So that's a lot. I thought I would stop doing this back in April.
You're going to be on a list now. NSA has your name.
If this is what they have my name for, I'm fine with that.
It's among the better things to be on a list for.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? First of all, these warnings are written by anonymous weirdos. I don't know who they are. I don't know why they do what they do. I'm so happy they do. I want to meet one of them. I want to have you on the show. I want to give you money because you've written almost 50 episodes of this show for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out these warnings. My friends here are going to try to figure out what movie I'm warning you about the content for. And we're already a little behind. So unless anybody has anything they want to say beforehand, I think it's time to jump into the show. And to do that, Amma, you're going to help me out first. Would you like a movie from 1962, 2014, or 2019?
2014, please.
2014. All right, first movie of the night from 2014. For 5 points under frightening and intense scenes. The movie has some elements of a black comedy. There are a few unsympathetic characters. All right.
2014 was the year?
2014. For 4 points under the category of sex and nudity, a man and a woman express the press's admiration for an actor as desiring to ejaculate on the actor's face. For 3 points, under frightening and intense scenes, the main character often has a mental voice in his head speaking to him. And he sometimes hallucinates weird visions. There's a scene where he goes absolutely crazy and starts throwing objects viciously. Amma has buzzed in. Julia's buzzed in. Jere, nothing?
I'm trying to think of the title, but I'm blanking on what it was. I think I know, though.
Julie, what do you think this movie is?
I'm not very committed to this answer, but is it Her?
Amma, what do you think this movie is?
Birdman or Birdman.
It is not Her. It is Birdman. Or the other long title that I have never.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if you want all of it. I don't know all of it.
No,
I just know
that's
Birdman.
Oh my
totally
god,
fine.
I forgot there was a
Or
subtitle
Birdman.
to that movie.
Yeah.
Just for fun, the other clues in that, under sex and nudity, a man is shown walking through Times Square in his underwear. And violence and gore, a character imagines he is a superhero. In the background, there's a SWAT team being shot with blood splashes, explosions, people running, and a huge metal bird.
I feel like
Amma.
if they said something about writing on toilet paper, I would have known that one.
Right.
Amma, you're now in first place with 3 points. Jere in second with 0. Julia at -1. Jere, you get to pick this movie. Would you like a movie from 1967, 1998, or 2015?
1998.
1998. This movie from 1998 for 5 points under violence and gore. Several characters are lifted up, thrown on the ground or into walls, charged at, and knocked down by other characters. All right, for 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, a boy is turned to stone, but he comes back. For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, characters fight against their own clones while the song Brother My Brother plays. For 2 points under violence and gore, a machine grabs a boy and a character. Both escape though the character has a hair plucked from it. Also, creatures are captured in balls and put into a machine. A couple of times, 2 groups of characters stand chest to chest and look as though they are about to fight. Okay. This isn't ringing any bells for anybody.
Not at all.
I have like 2 possible answers, but I'm not sure on either of them.
All right, let's see if the final clue helps you. For 1 point under frightening and intense scenes, Mewtwo wakes up and slaughters all of the scientists who created him. The killings are off screen. Jere has buzzed in. Amma has buzzed in. Julie, nothing? All right. Amma, I'll go to you first. What do you think?
Is it Pokemon the first movie?
Jere, what do you think?
Going with Pokemon the movie, first one.
It is Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. That I was hesitant to put in here, but like I said, I am hitting the 500th movie tonight. We are running out of titles.
Yeah. I was wondering when you might have that problem.
Turns out right around the 400 movie mark.
Okay.
Amma, you're still in first place with 4. Jere still in second, now at 1. Julie remains at -1. But Julie, you get to pick this movie. Do you like a movie from 1953, 1963, or 2001?
2001.
That's what I figured, but...
I'm so predictable.
No, nobody likes to pick the older movies.
I know some of them, those just weren't the years I know.
Eventually, this movie will just be the older movies and nobody will play it anymore. But for now, this movie is from 2001. And for 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, people drink during a cookout.
2001, you said, right?
2001. For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, the image of a man's face covered in stitches may be disturbing. For 3 points under violence and gore, a man is shoved to the ground and force-fed oil. We see him covered in oil and hear him gagging and coughing. For 2 points under frightening and intense scenes, much of the racing and action sequences can be suspenseful. All right, down to the 1 point clue. Under violence and gore, 3 cars race up to a semi and begin their hijacking attack on it. The driver of one shoots an arrow/harpoon into part of the windshield and yanks it out. He then climbs into the cab with the driver, who repeatedly hits him with a bat/club before the attacker shoots him with something that renders him unconscious. I see Julie and Jere have buzzed in. Amma, you got nothing?
No.
Okay. Julie, what do you think this movie is?
I'm just going to guess Fast and Furious.
Jere, what do you think this is?
This is The Fast and the Furious.
Oh my God, we're going to win with articles.
Even though Fast and Furious is a different movie, I'm not going to be that tough on it. It is The Fast and the Furious.
That's the danger of that franchise is we're close enough to it to know the difference, but in like 50 years, people are gonna be like, what order are you supposed to watch?
Right. Like I knew it wasn't Too Fast, Too Furious.
We are not close enough to it to remember. Can you name all of them?
Yes,
No.
I can. I just did a movies podcast series about the whole franchise.
So Jere can. So
Yeah.
if we were to assume 1 in 4 people can, we have the one and the other 3 are like,
I'm like, my understanding is Tokyo Drift is the worst one. That's all I really know.
Everyone's wrong about that. Everyone
Okay,
says
I
that's
have no
wrong.
opinion. I will defer to you.
Strong opinions about that.
I have none.
Well,
So you are correct.
Amma, you remain in first place with 4. Jere, you're up to 2. Julie, you're back out of the negatives with 0.
hey.
Amma, would you like a movie from 1963, 1978, or 2011?
I'm going to try 1963.
Wonderful. This is the other thing. I don't understand why film graduates don't go with the older ones that you probably had to watch.
Is that a clue?
It all
I don't
depends
know.
on the year.
This movie is from 1963. For 5 points under sex and nudity, an almost completely topless woman wearing only pasties over her nipples and a small bikini bottom dances vigorously directly in front of the camera for several seconds. Julie has a guess. Anybody else? What do you think, Julie?
The Graduate.
Jere, what do you think?
Dr. No.
It is not Dr. No, and it is also not The Graduate.
Yeah, that's a later 60s movie.
Yeah, 63 felt too early for that.
I agree, but I was like, that did happen in The Graduate.
It did.
That's true. And I think Dr. No came out in 62.
I think, yeah, you're right. 62.
All right, for 4 points under violence and gore, the film revolves around main characters seeking power through warfare and or assassination. For 3 points, under frightening and intense scenes, a woman visits a witch, and the scene with a man's murder is played out before her. She reacts in fear and sorrow. May be too intense for younger viewers. For 2 points under violence and gore, a man is ambushed and stabbed to death on the floor of his country's legislature by a mob of legislators. They are shown sticking daggers into him, and he staggers forward with a blood-covered torso before dying. Julie has buzzed in. Anybody else? What do you think, Julie? Oh, wait, hold on. Amma's buzzed in. Amma, what do you think?
North by Northwest?
Julie, what do you think?
Julius Caesar.
It is not North by Northwest. And it is also not Julius Caesar.
Okay, but it's a ripoff of Julius Caesar.
The final clue for 1 point under sex and nudity, the movie deals with how a woman managed to seduce 2 men and change the course of history as a result, and also got pregnant as a result. See a lot of blank faces. Jere has buzzed in. Anybody else? Amma has also buzzed in. Amma, what do you think this movie is?
Is it one of the Cleopatras? Cleopatra?
Jere, what do you think this is?
I also think it's Cleopatra.
It is one of the Cleopatras. It's Cleopatra. Not just a ripoff of Julius Caesar. That character is Julius Caesar.
There it is.
I knew a thing.
You did know a thing.
Yeah, I'm losing, but I knew a thing.
Well, Amma still in first place, dropped down to 3. Jere at 2. Julie at -1. Jere, would you like a movie from 1969, 1997, or 2000?
1969.
1969. All right. Gonna go back to the 60s, see if this one is any better. From 1969 for 5 points, under frightening and intense scenes, the many acts of crime and violence throughout may be intense for some viewers. For 4 points under violence and gore, there is a large explosion and a few people are close to it. One man gets a bloody arm. For 3 points under violence and gore, lawman surprises a group of train robbers, shooting several of the robbers as they try to ride away on their horses. No blood. Jere has buzzed in. Anybody else? Jere, what do you think this movie is?
Is this the Wild Bunch?
It is not the Wild Bunch. For 2 points, under profanity, one long drawn out shit as the main characters jump off a cliff. Right, Jere? Don't you hate a long drawn out shit?
Sorry, I didn't lower my hand, but I will raise it. No.
All right, final clue. Under alcohol, drugs, and... Oh, wait, no, Amma. Amma, you have a guess. What do you think?
Magnificent Seven?
It is not the Magnificent Seven. Julie, a little late on that. I'm going to have to read the 1 point clue. Let's see if it helps at all. Under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, the 2 outlaws are shown drinking in a saloon. Jere's hand is raised. Julie is still in here. Amma, you have nothing? Julie, I'm actually going to go with you first, see if the stuck. It's the same answer.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Jere, what do you think?
Same. Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid.
It is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So anybody's game at this point. Amma and Jere are tied in first place with 2 each. Julie at 0. Julie, would you like a movie from 1968, 2002, or 2015?
2002.
2002. Let's get out of the 60s. It's a movie from 2002. For 5 points under frightening and intense scenes, the movie, in a way, almost feels like it could really happen, which makes it all the more scary and disturbing. For 4 points under sex and nudity, after the opening scene, a man is seen laying completely naked in a hospital bed, and he is shown completely naked multiple times. For 3 points under violence and gore, a man and a woman are attacked by infected people. One infected man is hacked and beaten and thrown down a flight of stairs. Julie has buzzed in, Amma has buzzed in, Jere has buzzed in, everybody's in. Jere, I'll start with you. What do you think?
28 Days Later.
Amma, what do you think?
28 Days Later.
Julie, what do you think?
28 Days Later.
This movie is 28 Days Later.
Damn, I should have buzzed in after the second clue.
Meaning everybody's up points, but the spread remains the same. Amma and Jere tied in first with 5 each. Julie at 3. Everyone's in the positives now. Final clues in that, just for fun, under frightening and intense scenes. The first few scenes involving a man exploring a deserted London are very creepy. And sex and nudity, some of the zombies are partially nude, not graphic. Amma, we're back up to you. Would you like a movie from 1936, 1975, or 2018?
2018, please.
2018. This movie from 2018 for 5 points under profanity. Although not actually in the film, the movie soundtrack is explicit. Real helpful to know when you're watching the movie. For 4 points under sex and nudity, a man and a woman make out briefly in a van. The man pushes the woman towards him before one of the assistants posing as a medic shuts the door. For 3 points under sex and nudity, a weapons dealer stores a phallic-shaped piece of metal in his fly. When removing it, it looks as if he could be exposing himself. Very brief and played for laughs. Amma has buzzed in. Anybody else? What do you think this movie is?
Black Panther?
You got it. This movie is Black Panther. Wow. Well done. Other clues in that under frightening and intense scenes, many intense battle scenes showing many people being stabbed by spears, and violence and gore. The violence is slightly more intense and realistic than other MCU films. Characters are impaled and slashed with spears and swords. The blood and wounds not always focused on by the camera. You have extended your lead to 8 points. Jere at 5, Julie at 3. Still anybody's game. Jere, would you like a movie from 1961, 1973, or 2004?
1973. Or what was it, 71?
73, you got it.
73, okay, yeah.
All right, 1973. For 5 points under profanity, the use of the word damn is used in a religious manner. For 4 points under sex and nudity, the scene at the palace is somewhat suggestive. For 3 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, one brief scene involves a drug dealer at the temple. Drugs and paraphernalia are shown, and the dealer smokes what appears to be marijuana. For 2 points under sex and nudity, the main character finds the temple filled with prostitutes, gamblers, thieves, and people selling their wares. This is also an important scene to the plot and comes from Matthew 21:12. Even in the scene, the women are dressed like prostitutes, not naked, and there's no sex going on. All right, we'll go to the final clue for 1 point. Under frightening and intense scenes, a lot of this movie is intense, namely the crucifixion, the 39 lashes, and some of the music sounds disturbing. Jere has buzzed in. Anybody else? What do you think this movie is, Jere?
Jesus Christ Superstar?
That's the one. This is Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, I should have gotten that. I was also a theater major. House and drug dealer was really throwing me off. I was like, where do both these exist?
I was just like, which Jesus thing came out in 73? What?
Well, Jere, you are up to 6 points, still in second place. Amma at 8, Julie at 3. Julie, you get to pick the movie. It's been a rough one tonight. Let's see if this helps. Would you like a movie from 2006, 2010, or 2013?
2006.
2006. All right, from 2006, for 5 points under sex and nudity, a character buys 3 or 4 sex magazines. The camera shows us the cover of one, and it has a woman in her underwear showing a massive amount of cleavage. Most of the magazines feature women, one features men.
Sorry, what year was this?
2006. For 4 points under sex and nudity, there's a reference to second-degree burns on a man's, quote, Johnson from Sexual Activity. Amma has buzzed in. Anybody else? What do you think? Oh, wait, no. Jere has also buzzed in. Jere, what do you think?
Seed of Chucky.
Amma, what do you think?
Super bad.
It is not Seed of Chucky. It is also not Superbad. For 3 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, we see an elderly man snort heroin. For 2 points under frightening and intense scenes, the family are running into a moving car, and the young daughter runs into a moving car as well. And the entire family are seen running into a moving car again. This could be a little intense. Julie and Jere have both buzzed in. Amma, you don't think you know? All right, Julie, what do you think this movie is?
I'm not confident in this answer, but Little Miss Sunshine.
Jere, what do you think this movie is?
I also think it's Little Miss Sunshine.
Every time you're not confident, you have the right answer. This is Little Miss Sunshine.
I don't remember the snorting heroin, but I remember the running into the van.
It's on the poster. That's how I remember
It is. I think the grammar had me tripped up because like they're running into it, but not like running into it.
That's true.
Right. That was my mental image first,
I wondered both those the same.
I got hung up.
These clues are not written by English majors.
They could be. What else are English majors doing?
Playing this game.
Hey.
We're like theater, film, blah, English.
I also was a film minor.
Oh my God, were we all, Nick, were you too?
I did not go to college.
Oh my
But
God.
I would have been a film major, which is why I didn't go to college. Just for fun, final clue in that, under sex and nudity, one of the child beauty contestants, about age 9, does a routine with music and moves that are mildly suggestive.
Man, that person would be so mad at cuties.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that is one that I haven't even looked at for this.
Don't.
Still, such a close game. Amma and Jere tied in first with 7 each.
Oh,
Julie right behind at 5. We have one more go around, 3 movies left, one for each of you. Amma, it's back up to you. Would you like a movie from 1931, 1948, or 2018?
Hmm. 48. Let's just see what happens.
All right, let's see what happens. I love seeing what happens. Okay, from 1948, for 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, it is implied that a man gets drunk every night at his lavish parties. This is condemned by the noble characters in the film and by the story as a whole.
1948, you said?
48. For 4 points under sex and nudity, the film was made at a time when adult content of any kind was forbidden. Hence, the film is pretty much 100% wholesome, a perfect film for classroom use and family viewing.
Well, it just took my guess right out of it.
Again, that person said that this movie is 100% wholesome. For 3 points under violence and gore, a man is stabbed through a curtain. He falls down dead, not graphic. Julie has buzzed in. Anybody else? What do you think this movie is, Julie?
Hamlet.
Theater major and movie major, of course, you get Hamlet. This is
right.
Hamlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first clue had me thinking it was Gatsby, and I was like, was there one before the Robert Redford one?
Same thing.
Yeah.
There was.
Yeah, he wasn't in the 48 one. Not that old.
No,
Yeah, I think this is the Laurence Olivier Hamlet.
that lines
That
up.
makes sense. Yeah.
That checks out.
The other clues in that, under frightening and intense scenes, there are themes of familial strife, treachery, and murder throughout. This, however, is entirely consistent with the play, and nothing is ever gratuitous at all. And under profanity, none whatsoever. Every word of the film is taken directly from Shakespeare's play.
Okay.
Why do people write these things?
Very good question. One that I've spent almost 50 episodes and still haven't found an answer. Well, Julie, with that, you have jumped into first place with 8.
Wow.
Look
Amma
at
and
that.
Jere right behind with 7 each. We've got 2
Wow.
movies left.
You're like,
Jere, it's
okay.
on to you. I think this is the closest the game has been in a while. Jere, would you like a movie from 1953, 1962, or 2019?
1962.
1962. From 1962, for 5 points under violence and gore, there's a brief car chase, and one of the cars flies off a cliff and crashes, resulting in a large explosion. For 4 points under sex and nudity, we see a woman and a man nude in a contamination shower. Only their shoulders and stomachs are visible, from 1 hour, 19 minutes, 28 seconds to 1 hour, 19 minutes, 52 seconds. For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, the hero wakes up to find a tarantula crawling up his arm. He knocks it off and kills it with his shoe. Very tense. Jere has buzzed in. Anybody else? What do you think this movie is, Jere?
This one, Dr. No?
Did I spoil it by saying Dr. No came out in 1962? This movie is Dr. No.
I'm going to
I'm
do a
so
series
happy
rewatching
it
all the
came
James
up.
Bond movies. So, but I know them pretty well, but I was like, Contamination, which movie's that? And then the spider is, yeah, that's the scene.
Oh, wait, no, we had 2 clues in that left. Under violence and gore, the villain orders his Ben to torture the hero. They hit him repeatedly while a woman watches, but the more brutal torture happens off screen. We hear him grunting and crying out in pain as the baddie remains oblivious. We later see the man bloodied, bruised, and his clothes ripped after the beatings and torture. In alcohol, drugs, and smoking, the hero has several vodka martinis, a theme that runs throughout the series. This really could go to anyone in the final round.
Oh boy.
Amma, you are at 7 points. Julie, you are at 8. Jere, you're at 10. Julie, you get to pick the last movie of the night.
So much pressure.
You like a movie from 1978, 1997, or 2015?
1997.
1997. Final movie of the night from 1997 for 5 points under violence and gore. There's just overall lots of blood, so you might just get used to it. But if that isn't something you want your child doing, then I don't suggest this film. This person has some opinions. For 4 points under violence and gore, a man has a hole in his head, and another man sticks his fingers into the hole. For 3 points under sex and nudity, men and women are seen clustered in showering room. As they shower, women in the background are fully naked, and they scrub their big breasts and vaginal mound with soap.
Jesus.
The scene lasts nearly a minute. There's also male nudity, and everyone in the scene is naked. So mention that too. Oh my God, that is so much more grotesque than anything in any of these movies. Jere has buzzed in, possibly for the win. Jere, what do you think this movie is?
Is this Starship Troopers?
Second time on the show, second win. This movie is Starship Troopers. Just to finish that off, the final clues in Starship Troopers under frightening and intense scenes, the brain bug, which is frightening, sucks the brain out of a human. The scene may disturb some. And frightening and intense scenes, a cow is eviscerated by a giant insectoid alien, though a censored bar partially obscures it. The scene is still quite gruesome. The censor bar was intended to be a joke. That movie is Starship Troopers. This game was Inappropriate Movie Database. Our final scores for tonight, an incredibly close game. Amma at 7 points, Julie at 8 points, and Jere winning the game again at 13 points. Well done. Thank you so much for doing this, everybody. This was a joy. And hopefully we'll have Tyiesha on at some point when she is stationary.
Yeah.
But until then, before we go, if there's anything you have to promote, anywhere you want to be found, or just any last words, Amma, I'll start with you.
I am on Twitter and Instagram at Amma Marfo, and I work with a couple friends of mine to run a monthly, what we call Fodball open mic. So people who are normally first, only, or different at the mics and shows that they're typically on. And we run that at All She Wrote Books in Somerville the second Tuesday of every month.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
I just saw promotions for that. One of these days I'm going to do it.
Next one's tomorrow. And then after that, we'll try to run it that same schedule, second Tuesday of every month. So we would love to have you.
Awesome.
Speaking of, Julie.
Instagram, Julia214. Buy tickets to the Mendoza line this Saturday. That's where you'll see me next.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of people have been on the show promoting the Mendoza line. I'm so happy that's back, and that has a great lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So go see that. Go see Julie. Finally, our champion tonight, Jere.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter and Letterboxd as Swing Dingling, and you can find me at filmsimps.com. It's just my Letterboxd basically, but I still write a lot over there about movies. So fits.
That's a fantastic social media name, and I think you won the internet.
Yeah, thank you. I can't get rid of it because someone will take it, I'm sure. So
absolutely.
Yeah, no, keep that forever. Like, will that to your grandchildren.
Mhm.
Is this a question you will answer? Why?
Because King Dingaling 69 was taken by somebody who has never tweeted. So
Rude.
So can I say a funny thing related to that? I used to be a theater house manager. We had volunteer ushers. The volunteers are always like old, like close to their deathbed old. One of them, he's like 60, 70, who knows. His email was blah, 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 his name, 64 for you. And he always showed up with a different girlfriend. And I was like, good for you, old man.
Get it, sir.
Yeah.
I was
Love
like,
it.
get it. Do your fucking thing.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Corniest old man in the world, and I loved him. I was like, nothing but respect for you, Henry.
On that note, once again, follow all these people, see their stuff. Thank you so much for being here. Jere Pilapil, Julie Cameron, Amma Marfo. I'm Nick Martucci. You can find me everywhere on social media at Blundering Idiom. Join the Facebook group, search Inappropriate Movie Database. That's usually where I book this, but you can, reach out to me anywhere. If you're watching this, even if you've done it before or you've never done it, reach out. I want to have you on the show. We have a few episodes left this year, I guess, and a few spaces still open, including, real quick, this will date it, tomorrow night, December 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern, comedian, frequent guest, lovely person, Liz Esty is taking over the show. She'll take over hosting duties for a cheesy Christmas rom-com episode. So that's all your favorites from Hallmark and Netflix and Lifetime and a few more thrown in there. That's going to be a lot of fun. We have like a space open for that right now. So if you're watching this now, please reach out if that's your kind of movie. I'd love to have you on that show. We have another show on Thursday. I believe that show is going to be hosting duties are going to comedian frequent guest Josh Poirier is hosting his second round of video games for this show. Mm-hmm. I'll be playing in that one, even though I only know slightly more about video games than I do about Hallmark movies. So that'll be fun. And next week, we have our holiday episodes. If you want to be on one of those, please reach out. You don't need an extensive knowledge of Christmas movies. I'm playing games with that one. So check out, look for all of those, like, subscribe, do whatever YouTubers tell you to do. That way you'll find out when the next one is. Thank you so much for watching. Please watch more. There's almost 50 episodes. That's coming up soon, next week, I think. So you're going to stick around. You're going to want to stick around. I want to tell you that, really just dropping the ball in the end zone. Thank you so much for watching. And good night if it's nighttime.